Hello, welcome back. In last part I gave you one question as homework. I hope you must have done this question. So now we'll quickly discuss that question. Question number 5. So the question number 5 was A alone can do a piece of work in 6 days and B alone in 8 days. A and B undertook to do it for rupees 3200. With the help of C they completed the work in 3 days. So we can quickly convert this question into mathematical language that we know. A is working 1 day, B is working 1 day, and C is working 1 day, right? So now what we can write here is this one. A's work in 1 day will be 1 upon 6 because A is able to complete whole work in 6 days, so in 1 day he will be doing around 1 upon 6 times of the total work, right? In similar way, B's work in 1 day will be equal to 1 upon 8 because B took 8 days to complete whole work, right? Now what about C? When A and B were working with C, look here. When A and B undertook to do it for rupees 3200, with the help of C, they completed the whole work in 3 days. So when C helped them, when C started working with A and B, when these three guys started working, they finished whole work in 3 days. So what does that mean? So when A plus B plus C are working, they completed whole work in 3 days. So it means that A plus B plus C's work in 1 day is equal to 1 upon 3, right? So this is what we can infer from these things. Now A and B undertook the work for rupees 3200, right? You look here, they undertook the work for 3200 rupees. Now C is also working with them, so he must get his share, right? So now we'll try to find out the ratio of A's work, B's work and C's work. Till now we didn't calculate C's work when he's working all alone. So can we calculate C's work if he's working all alone? Yes, we can calculate C's work when he's working all alone. So what is C's work? C's work will be A plus B plus C's work minus A's minus B's, right? So if we calculate it, it will be 1 upon 3 minus 1 upon 6 minus 1 upon 8. So it will be 1 upon 24, right? So C's work, if C is working all alone, C is able to do 1 upon 24 work daily. So if we try to find out the ratio of the work done of A, B and C, it will be of this kind. So A is to B is to C will be 1 upon 6, 1 upon 8 and 1 upon 24. So if we multiply by 24 this equation, this ratio, we'll get it as 4 is to 3 is to 1, right? So we just converted the fractions into integers. Understood? Now, what is given in the equation is that A and B undertook the work for rupees 3200. So when C is working, C will also take his share from rupees 3200. Although C did very less work, so he will be paid less. So here what kind of concept we'll use? The more you work, the more you will be paid. That's similar, that's common everywhere. That's the fact. So what we can write here, we can write the salary ratio now. If we consider X amount is given as a share. So salary ratio for A is to B is to C will become 4x is to 3x is to x. Now 4x plus 3x plus x will be equal to rupees 3200 because A and B were supposed to do whole work in rupees 3200, but later on C joined them, so C must get his share as well. So that means 8x will be 3200. So it means x will be rupees 400, right? Now we got the value of x, that is rupees 400. Can we calculate C's share? So C's share will be x, that is equal to rupees 400. What about A's share? A's share will be rupees 4 times 400, that is 1600. What about B's share? B's share will be 3x, that is rupees 3 times 400, rupees 1200, right? So this is what we need to find. So we got it. So once again we'll quickly see this question. A can do a piece of work in 6 days. B alone can do the piece of work in 8 days. A and B undertook to do it for rupees 3200. With the help of C they completed the work in 3 days. How much is to be paid to C? What we did, we converted whatever we knew into mathematical language, like A's work in 1 day is 1 upon 6, B's work in 1 day is 1 upon 8, A plus B plus C's work in 1 day is 1 upon 3. Now C's work can be calculated by using three equations that we just wrote. These three equations, you subtract A plus B plus C minus A and B, you will get C's work done, right? So C's work done in 1 day will be 1 upon 24. So we wrote if the ratio A is to B is to C, 1 is to 1 upon 6, 1 upon 8 and 1 upon 24. So it will be 4 is to 3 is to 1. Now as far as salary is concerned, A is to B is to C will be 4x, 3x and x, right? Now 4x plus 3x plus x will be rupees 3200. So we got value of x as 400. Just put the values in these shares. So we'll get C's share, A's share and B's share. Alright, understood? Now we'll move to next question. Question number 6. Now question number 6 says, if 6 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, while 26 men and 48 boys can do the same in 2 days, the time taken by 15 men and 20 boys doing the same type of work will be. Now in these types of questions, what we need to do is, we need to frame equations for every line. For this sentence we need to create one equation. For this sentence or second one we need to create another equation. So what to do, what to assume in these questions, we'll see now. When you get questions of this kind, always assume one man's 1 day work is X and one boy 1 day work is Y. Alright, so now we assumed one man's 1 day work and one boy's 1 day work. So now what to do after this? After you assume these things, now start converting the equations. Now it is given in the question that 6 men and 8 boys can do whole work in 10 days. That means 6 men and 8 boys are doing 1 upon 10 work daily, right? What it means like this only, that we did a lot of questions in which we converted days into work. Here also we'll do the same. So 6 men, so one man's 1 day work, so we'll write 6x plus how many boys were working? 8. So 8y is equal to, not 10, is equal to 1 upon 10, because we are finding out 1 day work. Read the assumption. We assumed x as one man's 1 day work. Now 6 men are working, so one man's 1 day work will be x. So 6 men's 1 day work will be 6x. In similar way, one boy's 1 day work is y. So 8 boys 1 day work will be 8y. So they are able to complete whole work in 10 days. That means 1 day work will be 1 upon 10, right? In similar way, we can write another equation. It will be 26x plus 48y is equal to 1 upon 2, because the more people you employ for some work, it would be easier to finish full work quickly, right? Now what is the value of x that we'll get from By solving these two equations simultaneously, it will be 1 upon 100. And what about y? It will be 1 upon 200. Now read the question. What we need to find out? We need to find the time taken by 15 men and 20 boys in doing the same type of work. Okay? So we need to find out the number of days when these many boys are working. So what we can do here, now we can do this. We can just write here 15 men plus 20 boys. They are able to do whole work in how many days? So we'll find out one day's work first. So it will be 15x plus 20y. So it will be equal to 15 upon 100 plus 20 upon 200. So if you solve it, you will get it as 1 upon 4, right? So what does it mean? They are able to complete 1 upon 4, or we can say 25% of work daily, right? So 15 men and 20 boys, when they're working together, they are able to complete 1 upon 4 work daily, or we can say 25% work daily. So what does that mean? That means will do they will finish the work in 4 days, right? That's what we needed to find, and we found it. Understood? So the question was, if 6 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, while 26 men and 48 boys can do the same work in 2 days, the time taken by 15 men and 20 boys in doing the same type of work will be. Okay, so we assumed one man's one day work be x, one boy's one day work be y. So we found out the equations and we calculated everything, and finally we got it as 4 days. Understood? Now we'll move to the homework question. Note down this question, do it. We'll discuss it in next part. Till then, thanks a lot. This is Gaurav Walia from Katsak Education. Bye bye.